In one of the most famous speeches of all times, Steve Jobs had said, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. So today, we have two amazing students amidst us who, in their own words, have relished, enjoyed each and every step of their JEE preparation. So, good evening, everyone. And without any ado, let me request our number one, Annie, Anirudh, but he's lovingly called as Annie, and he is the number one. So he's Annie, he's one, but he's definitely not just anyone. So I think let's give a cheer for this cool boy, always smiling, respectful, Anirudh. It's so
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
yes, Anirudh. So good to see you, dear. So Anirudh,
Yeah.
before I think we listen to you, let me share some of his incredible achievements. So Anirudh showed his, I think, mettle for the first time when he secured an All India rank of 127 in the KVPY exam in the 11th standard. So he is the last person to have got who would ever get 127 in the KVPY exam because इसने ऐसा कुछ किया, the exam has been scrapped now. Then came his 12th standard. He was consistently the topper in the BTians at Bakliwal Tutorials almost throughout his 12th standard. He cleared NSCP, the first round of the physics Olympiad. He cleared both NSEC and INCHO, the first and second rounds of the chemistry Olympiad, though chose not to go for the camp. His mastery of physics was also evident when he scored a perfect 100 percentile in the JEE main exam. In fact, he was good at all the three subjects, and that is the reason why he cleared the JEE main exam with a creditable rank of 150. And in the exam that mattered, the JEE Advanced, of course, he conquered that exam with a commendable rank of 110. I can just go on and on. But there's this one achievement that I should not miss, and that is his bit set score. दोस्तों, आपको पता है क्या यहाँ पे जो जूम पे है, बिट सेट एग्जाम कितने मार्क्स का होता है? इफ यू कैन टाइप इन दी चैट. यस, ऑफ कोर्स 390 मार्क्स का एग्जाम होता है. कैन यू गेस हिज स्कोर? कैन यू गेस हिज स्कोर इन द चैट? यार भाई, तुम्हारे चर्चे पहले से मौजूद हैं. सो यस, ही गॉट अ स्कोर ऑफ 391 out of 390. Now, how is that possible? So I think we'll come back to it. So Anirudh, if you allow me, let's call your friend as well. So before you answer this question on this mystery on the bitset score, so I think let me also introduce the smart, confident young lady. तो हिंदी में एक I have this habit of breaking names. तो हिंदी में एक word है अपूर्व, अपूर्व, which means जो पहले नहीं हुआ हो, पूर्व में नहीं हुआ हो. So or unique in simple language. So let me welcome the Pune Girls Topper, the one and only in name as well as in deeds, Apurva Mahajan. Apurva, it would be amazing to see you. Hello Apurva, how are you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here. Fine.
Fine. So I would want to share some of her achievements as well. So this badminton lover, in fact, both of them are badminton players. So this badminton lover was amongst the top 1% of students in the state for the chemistry Olympiad. She only wrote the JEE main one exam in January, did not write in April, and that itself was good enough to fetch her an All India rank of 338. और अपूर्वा ने सिर्फ जेई मेंस 2 ही मिस नहीं किया. She missed many exams like KVPY in 11th standard, like BitSet. She chose not to write them because of her single-minded focus to clear the JEE Advanced exam, and cleared she did. She cracked it with a well-deserving rank of 319. In fact, she deserved better. The one other exam, thankfully, which she wrote was the CET exam, which she conquered. I'm sure most of you must be aware, with a perfect 100 percentile score. So awesome, both of you. I think we would love to listen from you. It has been a one-sided rank from my side till now. तो अनिरुद्ध से चालू करते हैं. अनिरुद्ध, वो जो मिस्ट्री है बिटसेट
For
वाली, आई
391.
या सो आई थिंक तुम बच्चों के लिए बता सकते हो ये 391 आउट ऑफ 390 का क्या चक्कर है.
Now, so basically, BitSat itself is an exam of speed. It's 130 questions in 3 hours, which in itself is quite a big feat. So if you manage to complete 130, all of the questions, you take answers to all of them, they allow you to submit the paper. So say you have access to 12 new questions, 12 bonus questions, which you can attempt. Now, keep in mind that the original paper itself, the 130 questions, has negative marking. So you have to tread cautiously over there. Accuracy needs to be maintained throughout the paper. And the moment you press submit on the original paper and you move on to the bonus questions, you cannot come back. So I chose to start the bonus questions around 20 minutes before the exam ended. And I managed to solve them with a decently high accuracy. So that's how I managed to score 391.
Awesome. So is there negative marking for the bonus questions as well?
Yes, sir. So you can't take guesses anywhere in the paper.
Awesome. Anirudh, मजा आ गया. So I think now both of you can begin. Let's begin with Anirudh only. So I think if you would want to briefly share about your JEE journey.
So I started in 11th grade. I had modest expectations. I had a very high motivation at the start. And but my study time was around, for the first month or so, it was maybe 4 to 5 hours a day. And I was completing just coaching homework, the homework which the teachers were giving us. I was attending all the classes diligently. But over time that picked up, the study time picked up through 11th through 12th grade. And I would say that it was the consistency throughout. I was consistent through the 2 years. I was doing chapter by chapter. And to the best of my abilities, I stuck with what the teachers were doing in class. And I tried to make sure that what I was solving aligned with what they were teaching. I was going with the right pace, solving the right amount of questions, asking the doubts on time. And even in classes, there was this constant spirit of positive competition. So that never let me slack, that never let me get lazy. I always had to be ahead. That was my aim at all times. And again, the teachers and the students around me, I was always pushed. And throughout the journey, I always try to avoid backlog, because that to me is a very dangerous thing to have. If you have, it needs to be sorted as fast as possible. And maybe at some point I did have backlog, I think around KVPI, where I switched my focus for around 10 days to prepare for it. So the backlog from there, to clear it, I had to take maybe 2 to 3 hours a day later on to get that sorted.
Okay, great. So Annie, bhai, ये बात सच है क्या that it was only 4 to 5 hours in the beginning, despite of her
So
dummies?
that lasted around 1 month. That 4 to 5 hours in the beginning. After that, it picked up. It picked up to maybe in 11th, it was maybe 7 to 8 hours a day, and in 12th, it was maybe around 11 hours.
Great. So then that was apart from the class, of course.
Sir.
Okay. And Apurva, how was your journey? What would you like to share?
I mean, I also joined PT in 11th only. And if I see the journey now, I just, there are just happy moments. And at the end of the examination, I wasn't able to believe that this JEE preparation has finally come to an end. That they were not giving me any further classes and meeting the teachers. That had become a routine, and I couldn't miss it. And so in Viz1, I mean, I in 11th I got the Viz1. Then I also got the opportunity to join the WOW batch. And one thing that I did was I never counted the hours that I put in for my studies. It was just in the 11th I did bad. I mean, I even went to the COC batch for once. But whenever something bad happened with me, I didn't get demotivated by it. I just used the anger that I got from it to push myself to my limits. And after that, in the preparation, it was only PCM was it became my hobbies. People ask, what do you do during the day? I say, I just sleep, I have my lunch, and I study. Nothing else than that.
Awesome.
And the atmosphere at BTN classrooms is also always positive and competitive. It will never let you be lazy. And the teachers are very supportive. They keep on motivating us and are happy to answer our doubts at any time, extending our lectures to an hour and an extra times. So don't be shy at all to ask your doubts. Some concepts are very fundamental and they'll be used in the coming chapters. So you need to have your core concepts very strong, and so clear all of your doubts with them, and teachers are always happy.
Awesome, awesome. Anirudh, anything you would want to share about your doubts? How did you clarify them?
For me, doubts had the utmost priority in my entire preparation. Like, there was nothing I treated more importantly than doubts. Any place which I got stuck, I would call my friends to discuss the concept. I would stay back after class to ask teachers who were more than willing to, extend class, like she said, even 1 hour, 1.5 hours ahead, just to clear our doubts. Discussions with my friends was also extremely helpful for me, especially in physics, because we were able to look at questions together from different angles. This helped us build out of the box thinking, critical thinking skills, and it helped us to gain that ability to tackle questions we haven't seen before in the JEE Advanced exam.
Okay, so how did you? Sorry, go ahead.
The discussions which I had with my friends, they were quite lighthearted. They developed my thinking also, and it was a way of bonding with my friends while making my time productive.
So did you engage in group studies, or were the discussions on phone or via Zoom or something?
I used to do group study in 11th grade, but after that, around in 12th grade, it became that the moment I had a doubt, as long as it was outside an exam, I would just call my friends and ask them immediately. Same worked the other way as well.
And what about Apurva? मतलब तुम भी दोस्तों के साथ, did you also have some like-minded friends, or what was your study pattern basically?
Study pattern, as soon as one topic was covered in the class, I would go over to solve the previous year questions of that topic. They're tremendously helpful, and I had a certain belief about the JEE questions, that they are built on core concepts and their difficulties within a certain limit, and I keep the ability to solve them. Having this confidence is very important to solve questions. And after PYQs, I would go over to solve the module. And this proved to be an advantage for me later, as many of my classmates were completing their PYQs 1 to 2 months before the JEE mains, while I was done with them way before the GPT itself.
Awesome, awesome. So both the mains questions, advanced questions, Apurva, all of them.
Yes, yes.
So, and you use those topic-wise JEE questions, the books that are there for topic-wise JEE questions?
Yes, and for Also, if some topics are not taught, like the chapter is only half taught, I would still go to explore the questions of untaught topics.
So yeah, I really like this idea that this confidence is so necessary that the JEE questions, the thinking involved is in a limit which is very much within my thinking limit. So awesome, absolutely. I'm sure at least 95% questions are like that for most of the children. They just need to carry this confidence. Awesome, awesome, amazing. And Anirudh, how about you? How did your studies progress?
My studies progressed throughout the 2 years. It was quite consistent. If you talk about study pattern, every morning I would make a plan for the work I wanted to get done that day. And for me, the books that I solved were module, PYQs, and some essential books that the teachers at BT would recommend us. So again, like she said, the PYQs instill a level of confidence in us. No matter how tough they are, they will be tough because they mixed multiple concepts, not because they're asking questions which are beyond our thinking abilities.
Absolutely, absolutely, Annie. Okay, so ये जो 2 साल की प्रिपरेशन रही है, are there any caveats, as we say, any mistakes that you would like to suggest to your juniors to be careful about?
Yeah, of course, I made mistakes.
I think both of you can take it, yes. So,
Okay, so
yeah.
For the mistakes which I made, I think the most important mistake which I'd like to talk about is that at the start, meaning probably the first 3 to 4 months of 11th grade, I was very scared of asking doubts to my teachers. I don't know, it felt like it was like a sense of embarrassment for me personally, which, that was quite detrimental to me. Obviously, once that fear overcame, I used to stay behind in doubts classes, used to discuss with my teachers, and that was so incredibly helpful for me. So anybody who's listening to this in 11th grade and 12th grade, don't be afraid of asking doubts. Any doubt you have now and you don't get it cleared will probably be a question which you won't be able to solve in an upcoming exam.
Nice.
Another mistake which I used to make was that I used to pick up extra books because I saw other people solving them. It used to feel like if they are able to solve that book, I also want to solve it. That would result in me half solving the books that I had already chosen and half solving what they have done, which means that I'm not able to do any of them efficiently. In my opinion, all you need is the BT module, PYQs, and some essential books like HCV or Cengage, for example, in maths, and you finish them systematically, complete the books, and that's it. That's all the question practice you need for JEE.
वो पूर्णता बहुत जरूरी है.
हाँ सर.
Doing anything half and not feeling confident about the whole thing is not going to help. Awesome, awesome. So Apurva, anything which you would want to share for the benefit of juniors, the mistakes that they should be cautious about?
Sir, first of all, the same thing that Anirudh mentioned, doing other books. First, we need to master the books that we're already doing, because I also did the same mistake. And so another point that I would like to mention is I labeled some chapters as difficult. Some chapters that I had a bitter experience with, or I could not understand them for the first time, I just labeled them as difficult. And so I was not able to conquer them for a long amount of time. But I think it's very important to remove this label and have belief in yourself that you can do them also. These chapters are also sometimes more easier than chapters that you're very good at. So you need to get it cleared from your friends. And if you still have some topics that you've not understood, you need to talk with your teachers. And another mistake that I made during the start of my journey was keeping my notes incomplete. Now, this is a very basic point, but it's important. I mean, some of my notes would be incomplete, and when I'm I'm very looking at them after 6 months, then I would not understood anything about it. So Then at a point in my journey, I promised myself that I would keep my notes complete. Plus, I would make my own short notes the same day the chapter was taught. And these
Awesome.
short notes included the important questions from PYQs or difficult topics. And these are tremendously helpful to revise the chapter at a later time.
So your short notes are going to be a lot in demand now. और तुमने बहुत अच्छी बात बोली यार that ये जो टॉपिक्स को लेकर people make these mental blocks, it is tough, it is easy. Rocket science थोड़ी है यार. I think if we'll give time, we'll definitely be able to conquer any topic which is in the JEE purview. Why not? वो एक एल्बर्ट आइंस्टीन का कोट याद आ जाता है that it's not that I'm smarter, I just stay with the problems for much longer. Awesome, awesome. कुछ चैट में भी क्वेश्चंस पूछ रहे हैं बच्चे यहाँ पे. There are some questions that are there in the chat as well. Not many though. तो एक क्वेश्चन किसी ने लिखा भी है ये, और ये this is very close to my heart as well actually. तो in fact this was discussed yesterday also when we were having that result celebration. You know, over these years we have observed as teachers that social media, you know, the video games, these are big distractions for students of your age. तो आधी बाजी तो हम यहीं जीत जाते हैं if we can keep ourselves away from these. So I would want to know from you honestly, तुम क्या क्या करते थे? मतलब did you play video games, Instagram और PUBG, सब्जी, क्या क्या चीजें थी जिसमें you were involved?
Throughout
Anyone?
11th
Yeah.
and 12th, probably none of it. I stuck in terms of social media was just Telegram, and that is also for official communications and speaking to friends for doubts and study related queries. I stayed as far away as possible from social media. It's detrimental. Even if you pick a specific amount of time to stay on social media, let's say you choose maybe half an hour, it will still eat at you after that time is complete. That notification from your phone, or just it'll stay in the back of your mind who is saying what on social media, which is going to distract you from your studies.
Absolutely. एक कोट है जो मैं भी बच्चों के साथ शेयर करता हूँ, that कोट बोल लो, पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस बोल लो, that avoiding is much easier than resisting. So for me also it doesn't work that you do it for few minutes and then you don't do it later. वो खींचेगा आपको. These things are meant to be addictive and they are smart people. इतने इतने IITs से ही वो लोग recruit कर रहे हैं. So they are trying to make it engaging. Why to struggle with them? Absolutely. Apurva, what is your take?
Sir,
You were
my approach was also same. I did not keep any distractions to avoid them. रखे ही नहीं थे कभी जिंदगी में. Facebook account कुछ ऐसा कुछ था ही नहीं. So I stayed as far as possible from them. And I mean, why indulge in activities that come in between you and your aim and that take away the dream from you? Why?
क्या बात है. Awesome, awesome. And Apurva, you know what the teachers have shared with me about you, that you were so involved during the lectures. The questions that you used to ask were so deep, so clearly showed your very high level of presence in the class. So I think when we enjoy so much the PCM itself, where the hell is the need for, I don't know, these distractions? Am I right, dear?
Yes, sir. I was not always like this. There was a phase of transformation that, I mean, at the start, when you're done with your 10th and when you look at PCM looks like something that is, like rocket science. That is something beyond your reach. At the first, it looks like that, complicated and difficult. But if you pay attention to what the teacher says, the teachers themselves teach in so much enjoyable manner and follow every word of theirs. You'll really enjoy it. And, PCM became my hobbies. Like in the free time, as I told you, I would explore. Like if any time on YouTube I would go, I would search about topics that I have not yet taught in the class. So I would discover them out.
Great. इनफैक्ट मुझे तो पता है पूर्वा की तुम्हारी स्टार्टिंग के बी टेस्ट में क्या रैंक आती थी. आई थिंक इन द बी टेस्ट यू वर 386.
Yeah, something like 300s, yes.
And abhi finally in JEE Advanced an all India rank of 319. तो अपूर्वा तुमने जो ये बात बोली ना कि मतलब ऐसा फेज आया था तुम्हारी प्रिपरेशन में भी, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हर बच्चे को एक एनकरेजमेंट की जरूरत होती है. एंड देन वंस द चाइल्ड गेट्स इट देन नथिंग सक्सीड्स लाइक सक्सेस. उसको थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाए, मैं कर सकता हूँ, किसी एक टेस्ट में वो अच्छा कर दे, मेहनत करने के बाद उसको लगे मैं कर सकता हूँ, एंड देन द चाइल्ड बिकम्स अनस्टॉपेबल. तो जो बच्चों को अच्छे मार्क्स नहीं मिल रहे हैं, तुम्हें मिल गए, बट जिनको नहीं मिल रहे हैं वो कैसे ये रे ऑफ होप ढूंढ सकते हैं? व्हाट डू यू फील? तुमने कैसे ढूंढा? या
सर फर्स्ट थिंग इज कि टीचर्स हमेशा मोटिवेट करते रहते हैं. एंड मतलब टीचर मतलब लाइक फॉर द एग्जांपल ऑफ फिजिक्स, पीटू सर उस चैप्टर को इतना मजेदार बना के सिखा रहे कि मतलब एक पॉइंट आया जब फिजिक्स में एकदम घुस गए और एकदम मतलब फिजिक्स ही मजेदार लगने लगा. तो and whenever I mean in any examination that I go at, like in the GBT I have 2 papers. The first paper I always do some mistake, कुछ खराब होता है उसमें, बट उससे मैं डीमोटिवेट नहीं होती हूँ. मुझे गुस्सा आता है कि कैसे कोई मेरे मार्क्स ले जा सकता है, और फिर इस गुस्से को यूज करके मैं सेकंड पेपर में अपना स्टैमिना दिखाती हूँ. और मतलब I see this that lot of people don't have stamina. They are not able to write the second paper much, and that's what I did. And also one thing that students who become toppers, they are not aliens. They are also people. They are also taught by the same teachers at BT, and you're also learning from the same teachers. So it's not something special that they got. You're getting the same what they got. So I mean, from even COC, I was there even there in the COC batch for once, but yet the result speaks. I mean, I've done well in the JEE Advanced. So
तुम्हारी मुझे ये बात बहुत अच्छी लगी जो तुमने कहा ना कि फिजिक्स फॉर एग्जाम्पल उसमें ही इतना मजा आता था दैट ठीक है रिजल्ट कई, देखो अपूर्वा सब बच्चे तो सीओसी में भी नहीं है, तो अल्टीमेटली ये जो बात तुमने बोली द इंट्रिंसिक जॉय ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट, फॉरगेट द रिजल्ट. सब्जेक्ट का अगर मजा लूटोगे, आई थिंक रिजल्ट विल फॉलो एज अ बाय प्रोडक्ट. यू विल एंजॉय द जर्नी मोर इम्पोर्टेंटली. सो एंजॉइंग द प्रोसेस रादर देन वरिंग अबाउट द आउटकम. फिजिक्स वाली जो बात है, अनिरुद्ध, आई डोंट नो, सिंस यू वर टॉपर थ्रू आउट, तुम्हारे साथ भी ऐसे मोमेंट्स आए क्या व्हेन as in you had to struggle with motivation, or how did you keep yourself motivated throughout these years?
There were obviously days, bad days I had. Like it wasn't easy throughout. My results were good in the B tests, but even let's say like there were mock tests in class or maybe some small other tests which I didn't perform. Those I tried to stay motivated by say pushing myself. I need to do better in the next one. I need to push myself further. I need to any result that I had gotten, let's say in a specific mock test, let's say in a physics mock test, my aim would be that I need to outdo myself at this point in time. So that's improvement. What kept me motivated through 2 years? I would say that the number one thing which kept me motivated was the people around me, my peers, my friend, the teachers, and my family. The teachers were always motivating in class. The classes were extremely interesting. The subjects were taught in a way which were so interconnected that you couldn't tell, like, if the chapters weren't kept separate. They were taught all together, and this helps you apply large chunks of information, helps you solve mixed questions all together. My friends obviously kept me motivated. There were times when I fell down, I could call them at any time. They would help me get back up. And my family. At the start, when it was online classes, I was with my parents in my hometown. So, but for my 12th grade, I came to Pune to study offline. So here I stay with my mama and mommy, and my most sincere thank you to them for taking such good care of me. They kept me motivated through 2 years. They kept me on track, made sure that I was getting my work done. And my parents provided moral support for me throughout the 2 years. I was always open about my feelings with them. And they provided the solutions for any problems I had to the best of their abilities. So thank you to everybody who helped me get here.
Awesome, awesome. Our gratitude to your mama, mommy, especially as well. Thank you so much. Otherwise, any पुणे में नहीं होता, शायद किसी और ही शहर में होता. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I am sure both of you must have done very well in the boards exam as well. So, what was your percentage exactly? I think let's begin with Anirudh.
I had 94% in my boards. So,
Which board it was? Which board?
I gave the Madhya Pradesh board actually. My school
Okay,
was located in Indore, but I studied from BT.
okay,
My
okay.
The thing with Madhya Pradesh board is that the rest of the subjects are considerably easy, PCM and English. The problem I was facing is that I had a fifth subject of Hindi, and I lived most of my life outside of India, and Hindi is not my strong point. So
Hmm.
it took me like 3-4 weeks of proper dedicated work directed towards Hindi. I had to take my mind off of JEE to quite an extent just to prepare for the boards because of that 75% criteria. Now, even in my Hindi, I managed to perform quite well with just that 1 month of preparation. And I think that the methods of planning which BT has instilled in me, like even in Hindi, the way I organize the chapters or the tasks that I had to get done to do well in the exam, all those skills, those planning skills, I had gained from JEE preparation only.
Okay, but otherwise you didn't prepare for the other subjects. I'm just guessing.
Not really. For example, PCM and English. English, I had to study all the, the like stories, and I didn't really prepare grammar. For physics, chemistry, and maths, everything had been covered in the institute only. And they ask you to elaborate your answers, but that's not difficult if you study conceptually. If you gain the concepts in class only, it's not very difficult to just pen them down. So for physics, chemistry, and maths, I think it was like 1 day of preparation before the exam itself. For English, it had taken me 3 to 4 days. Hindi was the one which used up most of that board's preparation time.
Okay, great, great, great. Apurva, what about you? 12 boards percentage. Yeah.
I had 96.33% in group and 95.
Okay.
First, I went to look at sample papers because
Apurva,
CBSE
थोड़ी सी आवाज कट गई तुम्हारी.
papers.
Maybe because of the internet issue. थोड़ी सी आवाज कट गई. So 96.33% is what I had heard. CBSE board you were in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so any advice? How did you get it? Or how did you prepare for it? If you did.
Yeah, first I went to look at the sample papers, but my first examination was English. And from there, I saw that the examination was not at all like what the sample paper was. So for the rest of the exams, I saw the previous year questions, like especially some chapter questions are like, they are definitely going to come, like semiconductors and physics. So I just went and saw the important topics and I just prepared them.
Okay. But is it so big a deal? Basically, that was my intent for asking this question. I think the answers went in different directions. But is it so big a deal when you prepare for JEE? I think अच्छे percentage तो तुम सब ले ही आते हो boards में. Am I right in saying that?
Yes.
Okay, great, great,
Yes,
great.
sir.
चलो अपूर्वा से एक क्वेश्चन पूछ लेते हैं यार. 100 percentile इन सीईटी. अपूर्वा यार, ये कैसे भाई? व्हाट स्पेशल डिड यू डू टू अचीव द सेम? कुछ अलग से कुछ किया
Sir,
हो? हम्म.
sir, you wouldn't believe I did not attend a single lecture. I mean, BT runs these lectures that are specific, that are
या ऑप्शनल लेक्चर्स. यस.
dedicated to boards and CET. Yeah, I did not attend a single lecture from that. And then BT also arranges these mock tests. And I also didn't get time to give the mock test.
You were
Like
focused
our
on
CET
JEE.
was, yes,
You were
yes.
focused on JEE.
And what I did, like one day before the examination, I searched through the internet and I got one paper. I wrote that paper to get to know about the important topics again, because they need to be focused on, like, every examination has some important topics. Like the JEE mains has the last chapters that are taught are like the semiconductors and all. Those are like favorite chapters of mains. You will surely have one question from those chapters. So I looked at the previous year paper to get an idea about this. And I think the most important thing, the most essential thing was that I had the nothing to lose at it, because
Great.
I had a fairly good rank in JEE main, and
Yes.
writing the CET was not a necessity for me. I would get admission to the colleges with my main score. So I
वाह.
was quite एकदम बिंदास मूड में थे, ना उधर कुछ पाना था ना कुछ खोना था,
क्या बात है, क्या
बस
बात,
देने के लिए दे रहे थे.
क्या बात है.
तो नो प्रेशर.
इसी एटीट्यूड से जीवन जीना है. और आगे भी अपूर्वा इसी एटीट्यूड से तोड़ा ताड़ी मचाते रहो. नथिंग टू लूज वाला माइंडसेट. क्या बात है. इसी एटीट्यूड से जेई एडवांस भी देना था, दिया था.
सर ये नहीं हो पाया था.
ऑसम ऑसम ऑसम. वाह, क्या बात है यार. एक और बात मुझे बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग लगी, दैट बोथ ऑफ यू वर स्टेइंग considerably far from, I think, the wow batch. FC Road Center पे you had your lectures. So Apurva stays in Pimpri and Anirudh stays in Wakad. तो तुम, आई थिंक, काफी तुम्हें ट्रेवल करना पड़ता होगा, जो काफी बच्चों को करना पड़ता है एट बीटी हु आर कमिंग फॉर दी विजार्ड्स एंड वाव बैचेस इन पर्टिकुलर. सो एनी एडवाइस, डिड यू यूज दी ट्रेवल टाइम in some way?
Personally, I tried my best to use the travel time, but in a moving vehicle, your study efficiency is obviously going to be lesser than at your desk at home. On the way there, I tried to do things which you don't need to solve anything, like revising some concepts which are going to be taught in that class. For example, if it's before a revision lecture, I would be revising that thing before the lecture. Or if there's nothing in general to do, I would be revising in organic chemistry. I tried my best to do that on the way. Obviously, I used to get distracted a bit. Efficiency is not at its maximum in a car.
Okay. Apurva, what is your take on this?
In fact, I had an option whether I had to attend WOW or the Viz Online batch. Attending the Viz Online batch was like, from home and would be very comfortable. But my father, he pushed me to take the WOW batch, whether I had to travel or so. And I used the travel time, again, reading those concepts which don't need solving, because you won't be able to solve in the car. And I just tried to use it as much as possible, and that's it.
Great. So I think all the juniors who travel, they should ensure that the travel is actually a blessing, wherein they do brainstorming with each other. I don't know. They blessing in disguise जिसे बोलते हैं, छुपी हुई blessing. Okay. शायद अनिरुद्ध ने बहुत ज्यादा inorganic रटी, so that helped him in cracking both the rounds of chemistry Olympiad. Awesome. Okay, so what sets you apart, Annie, if you would want to take it? I don't know. बाकी लोग भी मेहनत करते हैं, but they are not AIR 110. So what is different? Is it genes, or is there any logic behind the magic, as it said?
Personally,
Yeah.
I think the biggest contributing factor in the 2 years was consistency for me. Every day was a very, very rigid schedule. I would wake up at exactly 6:30, sleep at exactly 11. Everything was fixed from start to finish. And, again, I'd stay on track with the teachers throughout the 2 years. So consistent hard work is what I give my success to. Every day in the morning, I would wake up and I would plan the entire day. Obviously, you need to set realistic goals so that you're motivated to finish them by the end of the day. And the third thing, which I think is quite helped me a lot, was that I have a background in programming from a considerably young age. So, programming, although I didn't do any, major projects, the experience helped me in, taking large questions. I had a skill of taking large questions and breaking it down into the concepts required, the small pieces. Because as I said before, a JEE Advanced question, the most difficult they can make it is if they mix multiple concepts together. So if you break it down into the constituents, then you can tackle each part one by one, making it a very doable question. So this is a skill which I picked up at a young age. It's like the engineering mindset, and it helped me a lot throughout the 2 years.
Awesome.
These are the 3 factors I give my success to.
Great, great, great. Awesome. So I think we have already exceeded the time. तुम कुछ एक आध बात अपनी तरफ से बोलना चाहते हो तो बताओ, अदरवाइज इट्स कुछ कहना चाहते हो और कुछ एनीथिंग, और कैन वी कॉल? या गो अहेड.
मैं कहना चाहता हूँ just about before the exam and on the exam day itself, just make sure you aren't thinking about the results and you're not thinking about what rank you're going to get, because the stress that comes from just before the exam or during the exam thinking about these kinds of things, it will only harm your performance. You need to be in the zone, you need to be ready to perform. Before the exam itself, you will be writing many mock papers. And in these mock papers, you will be analyzing your mistakes over and over again. In the last week, you should have your primary focus on just analyzing the mistakes you have made in the past. There is nothing more important than that. And during the exam, you should, even at home, you should simulate exam conditions so that when you give the paper over there, it feels like, it's just another paper. You pick up the pen, the paper, you will be able to write it automatically, which is, this will keep cool. You need to just maintain your exam temperament, remain cool during the exam, and do not think about the consequences. Just manage your time, and your full focus should be on the question which is on your screen.
Ultimately it's about habits. So घर पे भी वैसे ही टेस्ट लिखो एज इफ इट्स द रियल एग्जाम. एक फ्रेज होता है कि champions do not become champions in the ring. It's related to boxers. They are merely recognized there. Champions do not become champions in the ring. वहां तो सिर्फ वो पहचाने जा रहे हैं. So awesome. Yesterday also there was this parent who was telling that his son was writing an exam and he had not even switched on the fan, forget AC. And later he asked and he said that I'm just simulating the conditions. What if my center does not have a working fan also? I think amazing. अपूर्वा, तुम कुछ बोलना चाहते हो तो? कुछ बच्चे क्वेश्चंस तो पूछ रहे हैं यहाँ, बट आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ यू हैव टाइम. एक क्वेश्चन ये पूछ रहे हैं, इफ यू कैन शेयर एनीथिंग अबाउट टाइम मैनेजमेंट, प्लानिंग, समथिंग. एनी वन ऑफ यू कैन टेक इट, और अपूर्वा, इफ देयर इज एनीथिंग व्हिच यू वुड वांट टू शेयर.
So time management, as Anirudh said, every day at the start of the day, I would also make a plan what topics I have to do today, and I would follow them. Now, for one thing that I would like to mention is that about hard work. Now, how do you go about doing hard work? Then there is this rule that run, rest, and repeat. Only these 3 things, and following these 3 things what helped me. And I also had this small attitude that if I'm solving something, I'll do a little more. Like, let's say I said that I'll do 2 questions and I'll call it a day, but I didn't stop there. चलो कुछ और 5 और क्वेश्चन कर लेते हैं, ये करते करते हम खत्म कर देना, ये आई थिंक वाज अ वेरी गुड हैबिट दैट हैड एंड व्हिच
ओके अपूर्वा, आई थिंक इंटरनेट इश्यूज एट योर एंड। तो तुमने बोला कि थोड़ा और करते हैं, थोड़े और सवाल करते हैं, एम आई राइट? थोड़े, एंड देन यू एंड अप डूइंग अ लॉट मेनी।
यस सर।
Okay. You know, there's this famous 2-minute rule also by one of the authors along the same lines. Just show up, do something, read a page, read a paragraph, and you never know, you may end up reading the entire chapter, something like that. Awesome, awesome. So, बहुत बहुत मजा आया, and I don't feel like stopping. But I think अभी समय है इन होनहार बच्चों के पीछे, इनको बनाने के पीछे सबसे बड़ा हाथ किनका है? उन लोगों को बुलाने का। सो आई थिंक अनिरुद्ध को कौन लेके आया इस दुनिया में सबसे पहले? आर डू वी हैव अनिरुद्ध's पेरेंट्स हियर? Aniruddh's parents, we would love to have you online. Host, can we probably make them co-host? Aniruddh, do we have your papa and me?
They are in the meeting, they are not co-host.
Acha. So they are there with what name?
BT guest one.
Okay. So Puneet, can you please do the needful? बहुत ही बढ़िया बढ़िया अच्छे अच्छे पॉइंट्स हमने शेयर किए सर। सो नाइस टू सी यू मैम, सो नाइस टू सी यू। तो अनिरुद्ध के जो पापा हैं अजय सर, ही इज अ सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर वर्किंग इन अ Singaporean firm. In fact, Anirudh, I think, came to India in 9th standard, if I'm
Can you hear me,
right.
sir?
Yes, sir, very much, sir.
Okay, sorry, I was muted and I couldn't unmute. Thanks for having us.
Yes, and Mayuri ma'am जो हैं उनसे मुलाकात हुई on the day of the JEE Advanced exam also, and she is a physiotherapist. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, sir.
We missed you yesterday, both of you.
Yeah, we
So-
also missed all of
We
you.
also missed the party and the event. Actually, we wanted to be there. We were jumping with joy here only. Okay.
We did
Thank
receive
you.
some videos from some of the friends, some photographs, so which was a nice celebration.
जी ग्रेट मैम। आपके पापा मम्मी और आपके ब्रदर से मिलके तो everyone got so impressed. I personally got very impressed. Amazing. Yeah. So anything which you would want to share for these parents, for children, anything?
Well, first of all, thanks for having us, and congratulations to all the kids who scored really well in the JEE mains and advanced thing. I really wish. And now I think the JOSA counseling is going to start. There, everyone is fighting for their rounds and whatever college they get, right? So I really wish all the best for their dream colleges and scores. And thanks to the Bakliwal tutorial, I mean, I couldn't believe that Anirudh. I didn't have any such hopes that he will come here and will pursue. I know he will be engineer, that I knew, but I didn't know he will get into the chase and run so much that he will reach these heights. Actually, so I give all this credit to the Bakliwal tutorial. I from wholeheartedly, basically, the kind of the hard work, the coaching did. Behind I mean, that they are the real heroes. I would say that, right? These guys are just working hard. Without this guidance and coaching, I'm sure they would have not reached this height, actually. So thank you so much, sir, for you and your staff for all that hard work and guidance. Please accept my gratitude for that. So again, talking about, you asked about our role and the message for parents. I think we are pretty much what you call in the movies, right? Supporting role. So there's nothing much for parents to take away from here. It's just that the way I see the parents' role is twofold. If in my own words, basically one is basically just provide logistic support. I think you covered in certain part that just make sure, you know, their transportation, food, their stay part is taken care of. At least they don't have to have the worry about, you know, like where the food will come from, or they have to go out and eat and all that. As long as that is taken care of, I think that's one basic need is sorted out. That's one thing I see. More importantly, which I want to say is the parents' role is the supporting role is basically the moral support part actually, right? And I saw, at least in my case, I saw Anirudh going up and down now and then. And now and then I'll talk, he will be like down, he couldn't score well, or this today's test I didn't do well, I did make mistakes, I made silly mistakes and all that. He will be eating himself up, right? So important part for me was basically talk him through, you know, get in communication mode and say there's another day, next day. That's why we are doing this every single day. So keep him cheered up, keep him motivated. I think that's there's no brainer here. It's a very standard thing I'm saying, but I think that's the only role that parents play in my view, basically. So we just kept our part going, though we were remote most of the time, and his uncle were there and aunt were there. They supported great extent. I think Ani spoke about it, right? Without their support, we couldn't have done this. Like you said, you would be in Indore. So yeah, that is all I would say from our side. Just the moral support is very important. They go through a lot in this 2 years time. So keep them motivated. Well, I will say that we should push, but not so much that they break down. And you know, now and then it's important for us to tell them that, yeah, this is another day. Let's look at next day and you know, get going basically. And I think Ani picked it from my perspective. He picked it well. He took every single challenge front end, and he just kept going on. But I was amazed the way he organized himself. I saw him making an Excel sheet with all his courses done green, red, like I would do in my management presentations and all that. He was all doing that, right? So amazed to see. I think those learning I would say anybody can follow in his management or course management, right? So thanks once again to all Bakliwal Tutorials staff and teachers for everything that you have done. Thank you so much. That's from my side.
Thank you very much.
Ma'am, anything you would want to share?
I just want to share thanks to especially Taruna ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, because being a mother, I know that I was not there. So when I was not there, for Ani, she was a very supporting role.
Yeah, I think Ani kept looking up to her for all the time. That ma'am will be unhappy today. I have not done well and all that. So she was like a motherly figure all the time, right? Yeah. So she was. Thanks to every teacher, by the way. Yeah. For all the work. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I think.
Yeah, thank you very much for bringing Ani to this level.
So behind this exceptional child, Anirudh, it's your able upbringing for sure. It's a privilege listening to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. तो अपूर्वा के पापा मम्मी का भी आशीर्वाद हमें लेना चाहिए यहाँ पर. So, hello sir, hello ma'am.
Hello. Hi.
Hello sir. जी.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
जी. अपूर्वा के जो पापा हैं, कल मुलाकात हुई. वैसे अपूर्वा के पापा जो हैं, he is a mechanical engineer, working in Chennai with Hero Motocorp.
Yeah, right.
जी सर, बहुत अच्छा लगा आपसे मिलके. एंड या तो और अपूर्वा की मम्मी जो है दीपाली मैम, शी हैज नर्चर्ड अपूर्वा टू व्हाट शी इज. आपसे भी मैम सेंटर पे मुलाकात हुई थी जेईई एडवांस के दिन. सो प्लीज शेयर फ्यू वर्ड्स फॉर अस. थैंक यू सो मच. या
sir, this actually this journey was very amazing. As I told you during the celebration also, I was not here, and last 1 year I was in Chennai, and I have switched my job. So during that time, it was a difficult situation for us also to keep Apurva with his mummy and my and her brother. So managing all these things from the Chennai, once in a month I used to come here, but really speaking and frankly speaking, I didn't had any troubles in her studies. her study, he kept on going. She has a very determined mind for this.
Absolutely, sir.
I would like to share here. I was the first engineer in my family, and forget about the IITs. But I was the first engineer, and then Apurva did, and she has a talent from the childhood. So we believed on her, and that was the how he take it, how she take it to the journey. And I tried to boost her confidence every time whenever she gets nervous. Sometimes there were scenes when she was in pressure of not completing the homework in time, but I taught her that forget about the rank. We do not want any rank, but just go in a free flow, in a free mind, with a focused approach and a confidence. So that's it. What I would like to share with the parents also, because we should not put the burden of ranks to our child, because it will damage also for their performance. So we should not put a burden on our aim to their aim. It should be their aim. It should be their aim, and they should progress it very free flowingly. And one thing that I would like to mention, initially when she got COC, and after that she got a WOW also at FC Road. So we were in confusion more that how to commute here from here to FC Road. But I clearly told her that whatever you want, that we will arrange, whether it is a cab, whether it is you can go by bus, but don't miss it. You have got a chance, you have good opportunity, you got a good opportunity to join a WOW batch. So be there in FC Road and put your best efforts. So that's it. That was how we have parented, and that is the only thing, that is the only support from my side, nothing else.
Thank you so much, sir. And I think यही अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा सपोर्ट है सर. आप जो सटल तरीके से सपोर्ट देते हैं, प्यार देते हैं पेरेंट्स, और ये बच्चे खुद ही इतने लायक हैं, अच्छे हैं सर. I think nothing else was needed anyway. Thank you so much, sir. Ma'am, आप कुछ
And I would like to thank Bakliwal also. When sometimes I used to saw this online lectures also. So teachers इतने अच्छे पढ़ाते थे, और at 9:30 we used to go for a dinner at 9:30. बट उसका लेक्चर खत्म होने तक हम कभी खाना नहीं खाते थे. चलो यार, अपूर्व का अभी भी चल रहा है. तो some of the doubt questions and the classes went up to 10:30. तो टीचर्स का भी एक बहुत बड़ा योगदान है कि उन्होंने कभी भी किसी स्टूडेंट को डाउट खत्म किए बिना छोड़ा नहीं. So that was the very appreciable point what I seen, I have observed during our lectures. So that is a wonderful teaching and coaching ability from Bakliwal. So thanks to Bakliwal. It is a very inspiring for all of other students also. And we feel proud that we have chosen a good institute from the initial. But because she did not study the foundation, but started with, from the 11th. So we have only one institute in our mind. So we have prepared for that, and it was a very good decision. So thanks to Bakliwal.
Thank you so much, sir, for the kind words, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Definitely, sir, it is BT's fortune that BT has such committed and competent teachers. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Ma'am, आप कुछ शेयर करना चाहें?
Thank you to BT teachers and also sir आपको भी for inspiring her. और क्या, मैं आपको मैंने बहुत सारे ऑनलाइन क्लासेस देखे हैं. The type of teaching, the resolution of doubts, and all the end बच्चों के doubts clear करना, चाहे कितनी भी देर हो, तो they are very appreciable.
मैम
really
आपको
appreciate.
लेक्चर्स जो है आप
So,
आप भी
thanks
समझते
to
थे लेक्चर्स?
हाँ हाँ
ओके, सो आप भी
And
मेरे हिसाब से पीसीएम आपका भी पूरा रिवाइज हो गया होगा अब अच्छी तरह। यू आर फ्रॉम साइंस बैकग्राउंड?
मेरा तो बी ग्रुप है, मैं बी ग्रुप से हूँ और मैं
Okay.
केमिस्ट्री स्टूडेंट हूँ, लेकिन
Okay.
मैंने अपूर्वा के देखे लेक्चर्स, आई रियली एंजॉयड देम।
ऑसम ऑसम, थैंक यू सो मच मैम, बहुत अच्छा लगा, थैंक यू सो मच। अनिरुद्ध के पेरेंट्स को भी, आपको भी थैंक यू सो मच फॉर प्लेसिंग ट्रस्ट इन अस and giving us the opportunity to serve your wonderful children. बहुत मजा आया अनिरुद्ध, अपूर्वा, thank you so much to all of you who had attended it today via Zoom, via YouTube live, and thank you Anirudh, Apurva once again yaar. Keep
Thank you so
rocking
much.
with the BT's philosophy. तुम्हें बीटी की जो टी शर्ट मिलेगी उस पे भी लिखा है द बीटीज फिलोसफी ऑफ
The ground, eyes in the sky.
yes, the philosophy of eyes on the stars and feet on the ground.